students, it's good to see you here again. I hope you all are good. So today we will be continuing with our chapter number 5 of civics, that is parliamentary government. So without wasting time, let's start. Very first paragraph, that is under the heading of system of government in India, it is explained that in the very starting it was not like India, as we all know that it has very big size and it is a diverse country. So the framers of the constitution decided that it would be very difficult for a single government to handle all the problems and handle all the functionalities of the society. So they did what? They actually divided the responsibility among two tiers, means among two parts, and hence made two governments. That is, first one the union government and the another one state government. And later on, the arrangement of sharing power within the country is known as federalism. Means one government has different powers at different parts of the country. Means when something gets controlled by different prospectors is known as federalism. When more than one power exists in a particular country, then that is known as federalism. And these governments are doing and performing their tasks very well and taking care of everyone who is there a part of it. And the list of subjects on which the union government can make laws is known as union list. A list on which union government can make laws is known as union list. A state government can make laws on a state list, and all of the union and state list there is a concurrent list. Concurrent list means containing, like, summing up of all the lists all together, on which both the union and state government are authorized. Means mutual decision is there. And apart from being a federal country, India is also a parliamentary form of government, which means that government in the country consists of representatives, means candidates that are elected by us, and these representatives are accountable to the people, means the ones who are elected. We have already studied the composition, power and functions of state government and local self-government bodies. So let's focus on union government and its functions and properties. The union government performs three fundamental functions, that is, legislate laws, means to make laws; execute laws, means to bring them to the performance; and provide justice, means if someone has made something wrong or if someone has done something wrong, then to give punishment to that particular function. And these functions are performed by the three organs, that is, legislature, executive and judiciary. Come on heading union legislature. The highest lawmaking body at the central level is known as Indian Parliament. Means the highest lawmaking body, means the body which has the highest power of lawmaking is known as Indian Parliament, and it consists of President, the Lok Sabha of lower house, and the Raj Sabha upper house. The members of the parliament meet at least twice a year, means that meeting takes place every year, maximum 2 times. Now let's bounce on a heading of president, the most important one. The president is the constitutional head of the country, means someone who has a power above prime minister. He or she is indirectly elected by an electoral college that consists of members of the Indian Parliament and members of legislative assemblies, means the members of the houses and obviously the one who are there having a power, a supremacy power. So students, let's know about eligibility criteria and term, means that how one can become a president. In order to become the president of India, a person must fulfill the following conditions. Let's focus on conditions. He or she must be a citizen of India, means he should be a citizen of India, and he should be having a nationality of India. He or she must be at least 35 years of age. His age should be above 35 or at least 35. He or she must be qualified to become a member of the Lok Sabha, means he must have qualified or he must be a part of Lok Sabha. He or she must not be a holder of any public office under central, state or local governments, means he cannot practice any office under or any post under state, central or local governments. The president is elected for a term of 5 years, maximum of 5 years he is elected for, and he can be removed from his position only for the violation of the Constitution of India, means if he is found practicing somewhere something unfair and if he is found doing something guilty, then he will be removed. And the process in which a president is removed from his post is known as impeachment. The same process is also called for the Chief Justice and the High Court's judges. The procedure for the removal of the president is laid down in the Constitution in India, is also known as impeachment, as I have already told you. He may also resign from his office by addressing a resignation to the Vice President of India. And he can, if he really wants to resign from his post, then he can give his resignation letter to the Vice President of India. Now, let's know about Lok Sabha. Again, an important heading. Pay attention, please. The members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people on the basis of universal adult franchise. Means we are the one who choose them. Like if we are above 18, like our parents, they actually go. You might have seen your parents going out for polling and giving vote, or you might have heard them saying that I will give vote to that particular candidate. So that is what universal adult franchisee is called. When universal adult franchisee is a process in which you can vote your candidates once you are 18 years of age or above. Everybody has the right to give votes, that we have already studied in the last chapter of civics. And it is also known as House of the People or lower house. According to the Constitution of India, the maximum strength means the maximum number of people who can sit and who can achieve their seats in Lok Sabha is 552, among which 530 members representing the states, means 20 members representing the Union Territories, and 2 Anglo-Indians, means among 552 members, 530 will be from different states, 20 members will be from Union Territories like Andaman and Nicobar and many more that we are having, and 2 Anglo-Indian members nominated by the President of India. Anglo-Indians means they are born in India but they are having nationality of some other country. That is known as Anglo-Indian. And currently the strength of the Lok Sabha is 545 members. Means currently, on current basis, the sessions of the Lok Sabha are presided over by the speaker. Means there will be a speaker who will guide you and who will ask you to speak and put up your views in front of them and in front of the people who are sitting there. The sessions of the Lok Sabha are presided over by the speaker, and the speaker is elected by the members of the Lok Sabha from amongst themselves. Means anyone, like we choose our monitor in our class, the boy or the girl is from in between us only, right? But we choose that and we give them the authority. The same is with the speaker. A speaker is also a member of the Lok Sabha, but after becoming a speaker, he or she will have to lose the authority from the party where he or she from which he or she belongs to. So let's know, students, about the eligibility criteria and elections. What are they and what are their functions? In order to become a member of the Lok Sabha, a person must fulfill the following conditions. Students, pay attention on these conditions and criteria because they are very important. So the first point is he or she must be a citizen of India, as the same as of President's one. He or she must be at least 25 years of age. The age is less over here. Matlab he should be or she should be of at least 25, because below this a person cannot compete or cannot become a member of the parliament. He or she must be mentally sound, means mentally fit. It's not like that he or she is not mentally strong and he is having some problem and still he is a part of Lok Sabha or a part of any competition or any election. It's not like that. He or she must not be bankrupt or a holder of any public office. Means bankrupt means any kind of case should not be there against him or her, or any office should not be like under him or her. If it is so, then he or she cannot get the priority of becoming a member of the Lok Sabha. In India, the elections are conducted by the Election Commission. For the purpose of elections, our entire country is divided into smaller units called constituencies. Constituencies are a group of society where every candidate is selected for being a part of Lok Sabha. The candidates who secure the maximum number of votes in their representative constituencies are elected to the Lok Sabha. Means the members who get the maximum number of votes get a chance to be a part of Lok Sabha. And the term of Lok Sabha is of 5 years. However, it may be extended for a period of 1 year while a proclamation of emergency is in operation. Means, by the way, the time period is of 5 years, but if in case there is an emergency like today and these days we are facing, so in that case 1 year can be extended until and unless the emergency is not over. Also, it may be dissolved before the completion of term by the President of India. And it's not like that if a party has been selected then or election or a particular member has been become a part of parliament or Lok Sabha, then he will complete its 5 years. If president found that he or she or the member is not performing well or is found to break the rules and regulations which were set by the government, then the president can deny them and can suspend them from the authorities. Students, we have already studied about Lok Sabha. Now let's know about Rajya Sabha, upper house. An upper house. The Rajya Sabha represents the interests of the state and union territories of India. Let me clear one thing: Lok Sabha focuses on small portions, but Rajya Sabha focuses on all over the country's powers and things that actually are kept into considerations like economic growth and GDP and many more things that can affect country's growth. So, thus it is also called the Council of States. Rajya Sabha is also known as Council of States or Upper House. The maximum strength of the Rajya Sabha has been prescribed as 250, means the maximum number of people who can be elected to be a part of Rajya Sabha is 250, and 238 out of 250 are represents the state of union territories. Out of these, 238 members represent the states and union territories, while 12 members are nominated by the president. Means 238 include members of some states and from union territories, whereas 12 members are nominated by the people by the president. Sorry, and those 12 members belong to some good streams, like some are specialized and have specializations in art, some have specializations in music, some have specializations in dance, so they belong to such streams. And like Rajya Sabha, the processions of the Rajya Sabha are presided over by the Vice President of India. He or she is known as the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Means a Vice President is also known as ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha, and he is the one who takes charge of Rajya Sabha meeting. Let's come on eligibility criteria and elections, and including terms as well. The eligibility criteria to become a member of the Rajya Sabha are same as the Lok Sabha. Means conditions are same, except that the condition and the candidate must be at least 30 years of age. Means he should have at least 30 years of age. In Lok Sabha it was 25 years, in Rajya Sabha it's 30. The members of the Rajya Sabha are indirectly elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of the states and union territories of prescribed the Constitution of India. Means here to become a part of Rajya Sabha, you don't need people's suggestion. You need suggestion of the people who are already a part of Lok Sabha, Parliament and President. Because Rajya Sabha is the upper house and only selected people get a chance to be a part of Rajya Sabha municipality. And its term is not subject to dissolution and thus it is permanent body. However, 1/3 of its members retire every second year and replaced by new members. Means it is not like that a Rajya Sabha will stay in power for 5 years or 4 years or 3 years. It is a permanent body, and the ones who get retire get are that particular seat which got like vacant after the person who had occupied it got retired. New persons from Lok Sabha or from some other prominent streams are selected and are given the chance to be a part of Rajya Sabha. Now, each member of the Rajya Sabha enjoys a term of 6 years. Every person enjoys a term of 6 years. Now, come on, power and function of the Parliament. First one is legislative, second one is executive, and third one is judicial. But here we have one more, that is financial powers. Legislative powers are those powers where the laws are made. Means where bills and a bill is something before law. Means when you make something, when you write something on a paper and then process it, and after getting a permission from the president and from high authorities, it becomes a bill, it becomes a law, sorry. So this is all about bill, and this is all about legislative powers, that how laws are made over there. Then comes from executive powers. Executive power means that how that particular law or bill which has been implemented is being practiced, and what are the things that actually take place. Coming back on financial powers, every year the government has to table a budget in the Indian Parliament. Means like how financial powers are included and what and where their expenses are being done, and at what amenities they are providing money, and they are spending money, and from where the money is coming. So this is all about financial powers. Judicial and constitutional powers, as I have already explained to you, that if someone is there who is not following any law or either of the laws which are made for the public or society, and if the person is found to practice some unfair means, then he or she will be sentenced or will be punished, and the punishment will be given by the judges. Now, come on, lawmaking procedure. The lawmaking procedure is initiated with the introduction of a legislative proposal called a bill in the Parliament. The journey of a non-money bill to become a law goes through the following stages. Please pay attention on stages. The first stage is known as the first reading. At this stage, the bill is introduced in either of the two houses. Matlab, let me explain you this thing in Hindi. जब भी कोई बिल मतलब लॉ बनता है तो उससे पहले वो बिल कहलाता है। और जब बिल को हम लोग पहले डिस्कस करते हैं पार्लियामेंट और लोकसभा और अब राज्यसभा में, सो दैट वी कैन कंफर्म कि ये बिल सजेशन के लिए सही है या फिर लोगों के लिए सही है कि नहीं है। उसके लिए सब एक बिल को, जो कि अभी लॉ नहीं बना है, उसको 3 स्टेजेस से होके गुजरना पड़ता है। सबसे पहले फर्स्ट रीडिंग होती है, और इस स्टेज में जो बिल होता है वो दोनों में से किसी भी हाउस में इंट्रोड्यूस किया जाता है, और उसके ऊपर जो भी मेंबर्स को मतलब इंट्रोड्यूस करते हैं वो उसके बारे में डिफाइन करते हैं चीज़ों को कि दैट व्हाट दैट बिल इज़ अबाउट। सेकेंड स्टेज में उसके ऊपर डिस्कशन किया जाता है, वो भी डिटेल में, और जो मेंबर्स होते हैं वो बिल को डिस्कस करते हैं और पॉइंट टू पॉइंट उसकी सारी जो भी कमियां होती हैं, जो भी चीज़ें ऐड करनी होती हैं, उनके ऊपर डिस्कशन करते हैं, और जो भी नेगेटिव एलिमेंट्स होते हैं उनको रिमूव करने की कोशिश करते हैं। और इसके बाद अगर बिल सही हुआ तो उसको आगे भेजा जाता है, नहीं तो उसको वापस से फर्स्ट स्टेज पे भेज दिया जाता है जहाँ पे उसको जिस आदमी ने इम्प्लीमेंट किया था। अगर बिल पास हो गया और उसको आगे पास किया गया तो उसको एक दूसरे हाउस में भेजा जाता है। मीन्स दे इंटरचेंज द हाउसेस। अगर राज्यसभा में बनाए तो लोकसभा में भेजा जाता है, और लोकसभा में बनाए तो उसको राज्यसभा में भेजा जाता है, और फिर से उसकी डिस्कशन होती है। द हाउस में अप्रूव और रिकमेंड सर्टेन चेंजेस इन द बिल। हाउस जो है जिसमें भी भेजा गया है बिल, वो उसको या तो पास कर सकता है, या तो अगर उसको कुछ कमी लगी तो वापस से वो उसको सजेशंस के लिए बोल सकता है कि आप इसमें थोड़े से चेंज करिए। उसके बाद भी अगर बिल में चेंज नहीं होते हैं तो उनको साइन करना ही पड़ता है कि आप इसको करिए, मतलब आप इसको फॉरवर्ड करिए। एक बार बिल पास हो जाने के बाद उसको प्रेसिडेंट को भेजा जाता है। यहाँ पे फिर से प्रेसिडेंट को अगर समझ में आता है बिल तो वो साइन करता है, और अगर नहीं आता है तो वो वापस से उस हाउस में बिल वापस भेज देता है, ताकि वो उस पर सजेशन करके और वर्क करके उसको और इम्प्रूव कर सकें। और जब बिल सही में इम्प्रूव हो जाता है और वापस से प्रेसिडेंट के पास आता है तो प्रेसिडेंट जब साइन करता है तो वो बिल लॉ बन जाता है। और ऐसे ही हमारी कंट्री में लॉज बनते हैं। एंड इन द लास्ट पैराग्राफ, इन केस ऑफ मनी बिल मीन्स जो पैसे से रिलेटेड बिल होता है, हाउ एवर इट कैन बी ओनली इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन लोकसभा। सिर्फ लोकसभा के लोग इसको इंट्रोड्यूस कर सकते हैं, और लोकसभा के लोग अप्रूव करने के बाद बिल को राज्यसभा में भेजते हैं। राज्यसभा के पास 14 डेज होते हैं कि वो इस बिल को कंसिडर करके आगे पास ऑन करें, पर अगर वो नहीं भी करते हैं तो भी उनका मन है लोकसभा वालों का कि उनका अगर मन हुआ, इफ़ दे रियली वांट टू कंटिन्यू विद दैट बिल, देन दे विल नॉट डू एनी चेंज, एंड once they are done and they have not changed, then Rajya Sabha will have to automatically sign the bill, and it will be approved by the president on his assent. Simple. So students, this was all about chapter and president and Lok Sabha, Raj Sabha, and many more things that you went through. Just please pay attention and just go through the book once again so that you can have a brief review. And if you want to know more about it, then access internet. Just type parliamentary government and you will get good stuff. Thank you for paying attention. Take care, study well, and stay safe.